And good evening. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I am James Howell, and tonight we are. There we go. We are. No, that's not the right way. Let's gonna pop it over there. There we go. Let's try to find where your middle C is, your sort of natural posture when you're actually playing a game on the camera, and not where you think it might frame best. Yeah. So. What game were we playing? Fatal Frame 4. It's gotten a little bit boring. It's very slow. And while I like the game, it's dragging a little bit for me. So we're going to take a break from that and do something that is a different pace, something that has a little more energy to it, and something that requires significantly less reading. And that's Castlevania 3. The Famicom version of the game is well regarded for its music, that the game itself actually amplifies or increases the number of sound channels possible for the console, so it's able to get more instruments in there, more tracks, and thus it creates a sort of a richer music experience. And that is one of the things that makes it very dear to my heart. So, we're going to play that. I'm not going to lift up the whole console because, well, maybe I will. Let me see if I can do this without ruining everything. Are we ruining everything? What am I doing? Okay, here we go. Here's this fella. So, this is the Famicom right there. And these controllers kind of fit nicely in the slots here on the side. Very easy storage, with the downside being that the cord, as you might be able to see here. Let's see if I can untangle this. So yeah, so the convenience of always having your controllers near your console is offset somewhat by the length of the cord, which is very short. So anytime you are playing this game, you're going to be fairly close to the system itself, and that's interesting to me. I do like the Famicom's controller, this little sort of chrome pad here that it's got. It's metallic, and it is like the cool side of a pillow. When you are twisting and turning at night, it is very comfortable to touch, and it's very relieving in that sort of, I don't know, the word that comes to mind is menthol-y way, for anybody who has smoked cigarettes and found that dash of refreshment in the experience. But yeah, so yeah, that's what we're going to play it on. Prior to that, speaking of reading, I have been reading, and that's great and refreshing. I decided, what am I going to do? I haven't been reading a book in like 3 weeks, so I decided to jump right into the most accessible content, which is Faulkner. Faulkner is, of course, very dear to my heart, and this has been a wonderful exploration, a wonderful thing to go back to, because as anybody who reviews this stream regularly knows, I'm very interested in Japanese styles of storytelling and poetry, the poetics of omission and selective context. And that's very much what a lot of, sort of like 50s, 60s, 70s filmic storytelling takes advantage of. Evening, Mexican Sting. It's good to see you. And any excursion out always brings you back home. And going back to Faulkner, my roots, of course, are in poetry of the 20th century, American Southeast and Midwest. And going back to Faulkner, who is a poetic novelist, I'm finding those aesthetics, the selective context, or only describing context and omitting action, and letting you sort of figure it out. Faulkner's way of writing is sort of, well, you've never ridden a horse before, so why don't you get up there and hold on to the saddle and smack the horse and let it go and have it run, and then you'll figure out what to do, right? That's kind of Faulkner. It's basically anything whose value emerges on readings 2, 3, and 4, that's what I'm looking for. Anything that emerges on reading 1 is informational, and that is less life-changing, I think. So the Sanctuary is a wonderful Faulknerian novel, and I don't have the excerpt of it, but has one of the most artful descriptions of somebody blacking out from alcohol consumption that I've ever read. So, quite an achievement. I want to hop into the Sound and the Fury, and after this, and along with that, I was thinking about, well, difficult writing. Difficult 20th century poetic writing. And this guy came back to mind, who is Hart Crane. If you want a challenge, this guy is this guy's your guy. His poems are incredibly difficult, not merely to parse, but to kind of know what to parse. And it's a different kind of thing from, like, say, Ashbery, who is very loose and sort of difficult to pin down. This is difficult to pin down, but it also gives you the sense that you might be able to if you kind of sit with it long enough. But it's also a little more obscure than T.S. Eliot, who also sort of achieves the same thing. So it's really fascinating stuff, and I personally have never been able to stick with Hart Crane longer than about 10 poems, which is one of the reasons why this volume remains remains incomplete. Let's see, I added this to my library in July of 2003, so here we are, 19 years on. And I have, let's see, where does, yeah, the page is folded right there, if you can kind of see there. So maybe we'll inch our way further toward the end there. But yeah, so with that said, we can hop into Castlevania 3. How are you, Mexican Sting? So that you were quite happy with the announcement that it looks like Death Stranding 2 was announced. Oh. And here goes. Oh no, I'm very sorry to hear that, man. All right. Let's hope the cartridge is still seated. How well is the music coming across in this? This music is worth forefronting. No, I'm very glad to hear that you're feeling better. Oh, that's excellent. I'm really... any employment news is always good news. Especially, I feel especially in our current economy, but always true. That bass track adds so much. Evening, Amethyst. It's good to meet you. Alright, thank you. Oh god, I love this music so much. So, personal connection to this game. You know, back in the days when these were the games out, you didn't always have a whole lot of them to play, so the ones you played to death. And I played Castlevania Inside Out, back and forth, Castlevania 3 specifically. And I was... it informed a gothic aesthetic of decay and ruin that was also affirmed in kind of some of the landscape that I lived around. A lot of farmland, and a lot of things sort of overtaken by vines and collapse. And so this sort of resonated, this sort of like European-ish sort of like analog to that. That's interesting. It doesn't loop where you think it would after Dracula's laugh. It's got a little bit of extra after that, and then just the whoop whoop whoop. Also, I'm really glad to hear that the cover letter helped pulled through. You are welcome, and I wish you all success always. How are you, Amethyst? Let's see. Let's call myself Snake. Here we go. This is rad. So yeah, just fantastic. I actually think I'm going to listen to each song for one loop before we actually go into it. So and just to kind of appreciate the shape and everything of the screen here, like right at the very start, you've got the elaborate structures in the background, sort of almost like shadowing the four-fronted ruins and overgrowth. And so right away it gives you a sense of depth, and it gives you a sense of possibility and menace. Even though those shadows are far in the distance, it's great. It's wonderful. Oh, ha! No, you know, entering a dirty word into a game for a naming convention, that's just not something I've ever done. That Whenever I would go over to a friend's house, that was, of course, something that they immediately did, but it was never my thing. I'm really glad that you're able to catch me live. Then, I'm also really glad to know that the VODs have an audience. I try to be diligent and keep them up, and figure that whoever they matter to. I want to make sure that they're responded to. I played this game instead of studying for finals my freshman year of college a lot. As far as other significant differences, I think the health, the damage is either greater or lesser. I actually want to say you take more damage in this one. There are certain religious visuals that were censored out of the North American version. Oh, that was careless. And yeah, like right there, like I think I took 3 damage right at the start as Trevor, who is the tankiest of the playable characters. And I think on the US version, it's just 2 bars. Bonk. Kind of thinking, I kind of want to do Alucard, his route. Alucard is my favorite out of them because, unlike Grant, his improved mobility is much easier to manage and control. I find Grant's mobility, being able to climb walls. Oh right, this isn't the later games. I can't just jump up the staircase. His mobility is very cool, but when rounding corners, kind of fussy to maintain. Something that I really do like about the, oh yeah, the more you damage these things with your sub-weapon, the more likely you are to get a multiplier. Yeah, there we go. What was I saying? Well, I don't remember, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. I like how I think that's just like a little bit of Dracula's castle you can see there in the background on the right, giving you a little glimpse. Oh yes, about Grant. Yeah, being able to round corners with him is challenging. Mexican Sting, these creatures right here were changed into the Flea Men in the US version. And I think the only representation of Flea Men prior to this was the sort of Igor shoulder monkey character in the Frankenstein boss of Castlevania 1. So I think the North American version of this enemy might be the first time that, you know, this what I think is an iconic Castlevania enemy really showed up. Yes, this has character switching and the alternate paths. This has a lot of game to it. I don't have it here, but I so love this game that there we go. That I found a 3-page spread from maybe EGM or one of the older game magazines around the time this was current that has a full breakdown of Dracula's castle, the sort of things that I would just fawn over in the magazine aisle at a grocery store when I was a kid. And I found that used like on eBay, and I ordered it, and I actually have it framed. And it's the sort of thing that being able to see all those levels in a single glance just really gives you this real big, good heart feeling about, man, video games are cool. These things have a very, a surprisingly large hitbox underneath. And they are a one-hit kill, so I am especially careful around them. Oh, well, Amethyst, if you would like me to show you one of the other routes, I'm happy to. I think at this point it's either Sypha or Alucard. It is a challenging game, and I think that part of its challenge comes from its length, honestly. It's Castlevania 1's levels, I think, are a little more contained, even though I think Castlevania 1 is still trying to figure out the formula. I got a triple thing, and I actually want to get the boomerang here. There we go. So yeah, this game has more variety, and it's just a longer experience overall. One thing that I do like about playing on the original hardware that I don't think is replicated well on emulations or like the Castlevania Anniversary Edition is the game really chugs at certain points, especially when it's doing vertical scrolling. And what's interesting to me is that even though the visuals chug, the music stays on point. So it's like I don't know how the technical side of it works out, but it's like they oh no, gross. It's like they chose to optimize the audio over everything else. In the event of choking the system's CPU, we are going to make sure this music sounds damn fine. Yeah, I can do Sypha. Sypha's good. Oh, hello, big spider. Oh, I wonder if I can do it here. So this is a very cute little thing. Well, it's actually cool. Rather than cute, I'll draw that line. As a part of this fight, about the only time in the entire game that I ever actually want the knife, and we'll see if I can make use of it. I'll explain it when I get there. I love the parallax on this mist and how it's foregrounded. I have 64 hearts, so I might be able to do it. There we go. So we're coming up on it. So what you're going to notice during the background of this fight is there's going to be a lightning storm happening in the background. This is the only place that you can do this, I think. If you throw a knife at the Cyclops, and if it hits him at the right moment, a lightning bolt will use the basically the knife as a contact point, and the lightning bolt will hit the Cyclops at the same time as the knife and do just like a ton of damage. I think that's how that works, and I don't know if there's a way to intentionally do it. You just got to keep throwing knives at him, and I think it's really cool. Yeah, I think a lot of this game. I mean, this looks great here, but the composite view is stellar. Ah. Maybe if I wait for the sound. There! It almost hit me. See if I can... I want to see if I can finish him off with it. Ah! Oh. Yeah! I have a turkey leg to celebrate. Yeah, I know, it's awesome. I didn't know about that until like a few months ago. I was like, this has been in the game the whole time. I never knew. Yes. I would like your terrifyingly powerful magic. One of my favorite levels. I really love the chunky of the footsteps. This uses one of the sound channels really well for the bass to kind of build this underlying tension. Not this part, but upcoming. Oh, maybe it was just the opening part. This here. Like, it really grounds it. And yeah, you're right. The tension is well sustained. Thank you. This is one of the few times where using the stopwatch is actually super welcome. Yeah, not quite there. Oh my god. Okay. I did not think his hitbox extended that far. I wonder if either he just has like a really wide hitbox, or if it had registered him in a stabbing animation that that extends it. There we go. Now this is a lamp that Grant is best at getting, but again, like rounding that corner and the risk of like just plummeting to your death. I don't make that skill check. Yes. One thing I really appreciate about Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood sort of does this as well. But there are many areas where getting hit and falling into a pit just drops you to a lower level. Symphony of the Night, of course, doesn't have bottomless pits, but Rondo is the main Castlevania that I remember that has the sort of like most standard, straightforward, classic gameplay before sort of the Metroidvania style really overtook the series. That did not universally kill you if you fell down a pit. Whew. I want Sypha to have something. Sypha's melee is surprisingly useful because of how quickly it can dispatch. I always liked how these platforms color palette changed whenever you would switch characters. There's something good here for Sypha. Oh no. Well, I mean, yeah, that could be for Sypha, but I can't reach that. I think that Medusa has exactly one attack, and I think it's duckable. Probably the most underwhelming of the Medusas in this series. No! Oh, fine. And it didn't even hit. Yeah, freeze is quite good. Freeze is also very good on water. There's a neat one-off use for it, which hopefully I will have freeze when I get there. Bonk. Video games train me to think that anything that is cold enough will shatter, and which, I mean, yes, that is true generally, but also that the threshold for shatteringly, for being so cold that you'll shatter, the threshold for that is actually much lower than in real life. Yeah. Just because something has ice on it doesn't mean that it's going to break at the slightest touch. Video games have taught me wrong. Ah. I don't know what boss is coming up here, but I think I actually want something... Oh, no! Other than Frost for her. And maybe more than exactly one hit before I die. That's not good. Oh, it's this. We might be able to make this. I might also bite the dust immediately. We'll find out. Time to start spamming fire. Nope. Close. No, 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 no. Whew. Almost walked right off that edge. Like, the fact that Sypha has no wind-up is great. No! Woo! Oh my god. reused this setup a few times, but it's very cool, I think, in all events. This is Sypha's revenge, because I'm pretty sure this is a Cyclops. Who cannot get to the other side of this thing. Bonk. Got him! That Cyclops, unfortunately, is protected from any lightning from above. The benefits of fighting inside a ghost ship. Oh, this is great music. Just very groovy. Something that I like about the soundtrack, and this is something that I notice in most of the tracks, is it flows from sort of a very busy, almost counterpointal at times music to something like this. Where it's just like, you know, single chords being played, as opposed to a few different voices sort of going back and forth between each other. And this song is not the busiest example, but it has elements of it, I think. Yeah, no. I'm sorry, Knife. You had a cool trick, but I'm afraid it's over now. They managed to make the knife more viable in Rondo of Blood when they gave it a really neat item crush attack. Evening, Dan. It's good to see you. Yeah, this is music you can go into the kitchen and make a sandwich to. There we go. Or grab a turkey from the drywall. Oh no! Not only did I not want that for Trevor, I also wanted its I wanted its magic form for Sypha. How are you, Dan? think this... I think this might be one of the areas where it chugs, because this is a vertical scroll. Or I might be thinking of the vertical scroll in the other direction. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I would dispatch him much more readily than I did. Do not hit my heel, please. Thank you. I think there's a 1-up down there, but it is very hard to get to unless you're a la carte without taking damage. I have not. In fact, I did find out to my... Oh, come on now. World's deadliest haircut. Alright, get back there. I did see there is apparently a glitch or a bug or something where early in the game, if you choose Grant, you can go through a bunch of garbage data screens and you have to do it in exactly the right way, going up and down invisible staircases. But if you manage to do it right, then you will... you'll skip straight to Dracula, and it is bizarre how specific the inputs are to get there. I wonder if this is something that was figured out after it had become emulatable, or if this was something anybody figured out on like the original with the original cart. I thought about, like, maybe trying it on stream, but I haven't practiced it, and that seems like absolutely the sort of thing you want to make sure you can get right before you subject others to it. Evening, Swimmy. It's good to see you. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Swimmy. Your name was the same color as Dan's on my on the readout here. I thought y'all were the same person. Yeah, it's bonkers. Yeah, there look to be several points where they are like going up and down the stairs, and apparently there's like a risk of falling through the level. I mean, such as it even is at that point. Huh. What of value is over here? Is it... Oh, it looks like it's functionally kind of a meaningless choice. Do I go up by stairs or do I try to go platform? Interesting. That is something that I would donate for during a GDQ. Which actually, GDQ is coming up next month. which is such a great chaser to Christmas and New Year's, because GDC is just like a week-long festival for me, and it's nice to have something that's a little lighter emotionally to follow the big family days of Christmas and New Year's, which is a family day for me. See, can I reach him with this? I can. Ah! This guy's axe, causing me trouble in all sorts of lives. I think I'm at the end? Yeah, okay. Oh god, ravens! Ugh. I mean, the axe is not the worst thing you could get stuck with, to be clear. But you know, holy water and the cross are far and away your best options. Oh, Frankenstein's just been following you stealthily. Oh man, how am I gonna miss that? Or avoid that, rather. Ah! Bet I was like one frame away from getting the perfect full whip extension orb grab. This track is really good. So good. Yeah, Frankenstein's, you know, you'd think he'd be, big, hulking, and, I mean, evident. But no, he apparently can walk through walls and, sneak up on you. Oh, do I have the do I have Sypha's water thing here? I hope I do. I do. Okay, so this is cool. This is a little known thing. If you jump in here... Oh, I am stuck because... But... Yeah, you can get through here a lot easier. Oh. And if you hate this jump, you can also make it a lot easier. I actually have an easier time going through there and getting the rhythm of the merman's appearance right with Trevor's whip, but the novelty of being able to freeze the water compels me to do the less convenient and effective thing every time. Or at least less effective for my playstyle. I think the Fleamen are an example of one of those instances where the censored North American version, always right bat in the face, of the game winds up creating something more iconic and weirdly compelling than the original. Evening, Arcs. Good to see you. I was wondering if you're going to catch you because I know that you kind of rallied to watch the Game Awards. Oh no, I think I looked at chat and we died together. Too cool to pass up, indeed. I guarantee you, there is no world in which a mage is built to take an axe to the face. Oh my god! Oh wow, that was really bad. Okay, let's do it again. And to be fair to mages, there are very few of us that are made to take an axe to the face. But, mages least of all. I understand why they removed the whip upgrades from later Castlevanias, even though the, this style of Castlevania was, did not have as many iterations after, the Metroidvania style took over. But, like, there's something about the ritual of getting those whip upgrades immediately that is, that's satisfying and that kind of gives a shape to the experience in a way that I think is kind of cool. Arbitrary and doesn't generate much tension because you're pretty sure that it's going to happen very soon, but it does create some tension, like right up leading to a boss fight. If you're not sure that you're going to be able to make it with a complete whip upgrade. Yeah, Game Awards were tonight. Elden Ring did it did quite well. I think it won Game of the Year. And I'm glad to see that. I like Elden Ring, and I like that something that was as narratively adventurous as it did well. No, not again. Oh man, I gotta be smarter about that. With that said, with the nominees this year, you would not know that it was actually a really good year for AAA games, because there were like I think the same 6 games nominated for almost every category. You might be forgiven for thinking that there were like only 6 games released this year. All right. So I got a strategy this time. My strategy is to take a dive into a pit. Oh man. Oh my god, these axes! Okay, I have another strategy now, and it's going to involve fewer trips to the bottom of this castle. Okay. Yes! Finally. Wow. That is one of those weird places in this game where, on an average playthrough, I will have absolutely no problem with it. And then just, you know, one time out of 20 you play the game and, for some reason you just get hung up on it. Yes. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, I mean, honestly, a Game Awards show that doesn't recognize like Trombone Champ as like a really good novelty game, I think is omitting something really important. Oh no. Okay. This is it. This is the one. Did you hear about the Elden Ring DLC, Dan? I have not tried it myself. Also, Swimmy, you are another pretty serious Elden Ring player. Oh wow, you can duck those. Woo. Yeah, the Colosseums in Elden Ring are now open, and you can do things in them. Yeah, for those who don't know, Swimmy was one of the magical creatures in this world who was able to help people with... oh god, what's her name? I forget her name! Oh, thank god. Like, I want to say Melania, but that's Trump's wife, and I'm not certain that's it. Because I remember it being just different enough that it was able to stick in my head as the wrong name. Melania, that's it, thank you. Oh! Alright. I'm gonna safeguard this. Weird that they drop a stopwatch. Yeah, she is, she's one of the ones that you remember as a, you know, the kind of very hard boss that gives FromSoft its reputation. Yeah, look at the slowdown. Whoa, oh, okay. Whoa. Thought it was coming down at me. Oh, weird. Interesting. It's just not making contact. Oh! I don't remember it angling at you. I just thought it was like a straightforward shot, but boy, was I wrong. Oh! Twisting the knife. Oh, weird. Blip. Glitched out. Ten hearts and a boomerang. I think I can do this. Less so with that. Oh! Oh, how am I supposed to dodge that? I guess I have to be on another platform. Oh my god, again! Man. Okay. Castlevania 3 might unexpectedly turn into a two-stream game. Okay. Woo. All right. It's good. It's good progress. So, as an example of the difficulty difference between the Japanese and the North American version, I think I took like 4 bars of health damage there. That's a health loss that you typically see only at endgame in the North American version. So if Metal Gear's difficulties are any indicator, I think that over time the Japanese versions of games developed a reputation of being the easy ones, and that that is not the case here. I think the association actually used to be reversed at this time, and might still be reversed. I'm drawing from a very limited sample there. Okay. Made it with a pretty straight line this time through. Well, I know for sure that with fire, as soon as this first one pops up, Sci-Fi can kill it really quickly. Yes, like that. Yes! Alright. I think it's a perfect punctuation point for that level that I was standing exactly where the orb dropped and did not get the opportunity to do a full whip extension catch of it. I really like how the perspective shifts from the sort of like isometric sort of 3D map art to the classic 2D. Very nice. Something that I do notice on this level is like, okay, so we are now at Dracula's castle, which during the first level we saw in the distance, and so now from the perspective of being at Dracula's castle, we can see these mountains in the distance, which I assume represents where we came from, and so being able to see your origin point at this stage in the game when you saw this in the distance at your start is very cool. I'm not gonna deal with that noise yet. These levels are evil. Yes, Dan. I feel like out of any game on this system that could have received the extra sound channels to create greater complexity in the soundtrack, I think Castlevania is maybe the best series for it, because the ways in which it draws from sort of like Baroque-ish aesthetics really let it show off much more of its sort of like of its spirit and its aesthetic, with the opportunity to sort of show off some counterpoint. I do too. The soundtrack to this game was a personal favorite. You know, even on the NES, which did not have the texture that this one does. Oh, this jump is devious. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. Ah. That jump is much easier with Grant, and I'm glad that it comes in the first, pretty near the beginning of the level, because that can be a run stopper there. But yeah, the NES version's music was a favorite soundtrack of mine, and then when I discovered this, blew my mind. Alright. Yeah, it's, that jump is, like pixel perfect, basically. I really like how they structure these, how they built these platforms. Somehow feels like polygons. Oh. Where is it this? That's this right, this one here. Well, next time I will let him get his complete whip extension set before switching over to Sypha. Yeah, I think Castlevania 3 came out 91. It's a great example, kind of like Vagrant Story, of what a developer can just squeeze out of hardware near the end of its life cycle. Yeah, God, you see that? Like gripping onto that with his toe. Whew. I really want some turkey now. But turkey I shall not have. Unless... yeah, nope. Okay... This is a great boss. I might not be prepared for it with this health. See if I can whip any of these blocks. I cannot. It's not him that I'm concerned about, really. It's the one that's about to pop out. Particularly because of this, his bullets are hard to avoid. I might want holy water. Like this. Ah! But I can get him this time. Oh god, go, 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 go! Haha. See if there's anything here for Sypha. That's great. This is potentially one of the strongest sub-weapons in the entire game. This could be really good for that demon. But I really want a whip extension. There you go. So it has high damage, it costs exactly 1 heart, and it targets an enemy exactly. That's very good. I should need it for the Cyclops. The impact sound effect has greater detail in this version. That's neat. Gotcha. All right, this is it. Yes! Kaboom! So this is not a great place to listen to it without a lot of interference from the sound effects, but this is a great rendition of Vampire Killer. So I think that there's a place a little later on. I feel like this the sort of revisiting of the of Dracula's castle's hallway captures a lot of the blockiness and chunky nature of the shadows from the first game. Okay, here we go. Nope, not yet, not yet. Oh, I thought that those were rotating, but they're not. Oh, excellent. You know, I've never noticed until just now, trying to find a place where I can just sort of listen to the music, that every stage that you enter, as soon as you get to Dracula's castle, you don't really have a resting place. Something is always trying to kill you straight off, and that's pretty cool. Okay, now maybe. Oh, not the right timing. Alright, here. A good resting place for it. Yeah, very groovy. I think Sypha has the best weapon by far for this, since the attack pattern of these orbs matches sort of Death's mobility. Some of these candles have sub-weapons that I don't want, and this guy right here is just a great troll, showing that Castlevania's developers know exactly how valuable the knife is, because after trying to preserve your best sub-weapons at the very end, if you are getting greedy, they give you that. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. So the little sub weapon always finds an enemy or a moving object to track. So it must think that there's something around that brick that is a moving object. Evening, Tara. It's good to meet you. Holy water in general, I find, is the most effective. I don't know. In later years, I've come to think it's a toss-up between the cross boomerang and the holy water. It just depends on how the enemy is moving. If I get an enemy pinned on the ground, that's rad. But sometimes it's hard to coax them down that way. How are you? It's good to meet you. Oh no, it does have whip upgrades, but I think this is... I don't remember if they have whip upgrades in Super Castlevania, but I think this is among the last games that that has them. And how, you know, I get why they're removed. There's almost kind of an arcadey feel to the upgrades. But I always really like how it sort of, I don't know, kind of gives you a program for how your game is gonna go when you restart after a death. Kind of a familiar rhythm and the feeling of getting stronger immediately is a good one. Oh, these levels can be extremely difficult. Oh, for that reason right there. Oh, interesting. I don't think I ever noticed that he starts by dropping down. I think I always assumed that that was like a random action, and that whenever that happened, I got lucky. But that's good to know for future playthroughs. And I do play this game more often than many older games. This is a favorite. Whew. Oh man, I want to get to that door. Now, I find as many times as I've played this, I don't have habits of whipping only the walls that have like goodies in them, but I always check the same ones every time. So it's like that's where the pattern, that's where the muscle memory is. The muscle memory isn't in checking or using just the right walls, it's in continuing to check the same ones. Whoop. I better pay attention to this. Let's see if I can get that one up that's over here. Woo! Whew. Oh, man. I'm curious then. Maybe you can answer this. Something I've been trying to remember, whether or not the Japanese or the US versions is the more difficult one. Oh, thank God. You know what? I'm just going to leave that bat where it is. So one of the great things about playing through with Alucard is I can absolutely skip this whole area, which with the Ravens is kind of a nightmare. That went fairly well though. Oh, come on. Brutal. Of all the games to remember where an enemy is when it goes off screen. Interesting. What are those changes? The only changes I know about are some of the censorship around, I guess, I think some of the religious iconography. You know what? I'm just gonna do what is only safe in a video game when being attacked by birds, which is to get onto a staircase. Oh, okay. Though Alucard is my preferred secondary character for being able to get through that area quickly, going through his path also takes me through a level that is by far the most run-killing or enthusiasm-killing area in the game to die in, which is the level leading up to the one where blocks just continue to fall from the sky endlessly, and you have to climb up them. It's tedious. It feels like it's longer than it probably is, but nonetheless, it's so momentum killing, and the puzzle element to it that would make it interesting is fairly weak. it's easily my least favorite area of the game. Alucard is very good for being able to fly through, and I like his mobility there. But if you screw it up, you'll lose all your hearts, and the advantage of having Alucard as your secondary character is lost. Oh, hold on. I'd like to read this. I'm going to pause this so I don't die when I do. You know, that is really good to know, because I could swear that I remember the Cyclops being able to run through platforms and having to be a little more nimble around him. But when I play it in this, like, he hits the block and he just turns around, which is a little easier to abuse in terms of like getting to safety. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I was questioning my memory on that. That's really good to know. Evening, Mahafun. It's good to see you. The same cell phone ad thrice in a row. Wow. I am sorry to hear that. I hope it was a good one. What was it an ad for? Yeah, the falling block stage is painful to me. If I have to keep doing it, I will probably stop playing at some point. Evening Taco Task Force. It's good to see you. I am surprised that you have never seen Castlevania 3. Because it feels like this is right up your alley for era of games. Go, 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 go! Don't get hit! Alright. Christmas-themed Verizon ad. Wow. The holiday is maybe one of the most obtrusive time to receive a personalized or focused ad. I mean, there's never a great time for it, right? I virtually never answer my phone if I don't know who's calling, and I know I'm not alone in this. In large part because of that. A whole childhood's worth of learning phone answering etiquette just completely gone because I will never pick up the phone unless I know who it is again. So, with the Twin Serpent's appearance, I'm curious about this. In this version, I noticed that the flames would go diagonally and kind of target you. And I swear I remember those flames just going straight out of their mouths and sort of like just being a horizontal line. Is that in the US version, or are they targeting you as well in that one? Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly support playing the Japanese version with the real music, which is what this one is. This is the Famicom version. Oh, come on. You're telling me that crows can go off screen and continue their existence? And I'm going to lose a power-up? Oh, dear. Whew. Spicy. Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that, because when I was fighting them earlier, I was treating them as though their flames were just going to go, like, straight forward. And that turned out to be the wrong strategy. Because you can't really duck that. Alright. Here we go. No, 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 no. Okay. You monsters. Man, if Dracula really wanted just to destroy the Belmont, he would just enlist a ton of ravens. I hope that saying this will not jinx it, but I'm pretty good at, at defeating the doppelgangers without getting hit with the boomerang. I also feel like the doppelgangers are easier in this. They seem easier to abuse their AI. Oh! I jumped right into that. Okay. I did, in fact, jinx it by mentioning it. Self-confidence only works when it is unspoken. No, 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 go, go, go! All right. The Belmonts would, in fact, be nevermore. Whew. Please go away, please be gone. All right, good, you're gone. Woo! Oh my god. No, you made it up there! They don't usually make it up there. Okay, cool. Excuse me. Fair enough. No point unless you make the called shots. Well, something that I'm used to in playing against them in the Japanese version is that they will often jump to the platform, the higher platform, but they won't always hit. They won't always make it. Oh, man. Oh, okay. I need to, I need to just treat them as though they will definitely land on that platform. I don't know if this is going to go well. It's 0 lives and I'm already at 2 hits. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not optimistic. Alright, actually lasted longer during that stair climb than I thought I would. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, I'm interested that they I mean, effectively patched the game in a lot of ways for the US release, in addition to the usual sort of censorship stuff, and also, you know, redoing the music to account for the absence of the extra sound chip. I find this music very, very busy for the kind of space management and timing management that you need to be able to do the Flea Man drop sequence. These spikes have a hitbox that more closely matches kind of where you would expect to take damage on them, as opposed to the other one-hit kill ones that show up fairly early, and their shadows will kill you. Woo. All right. I do not want to deal with your axe noise. Huh. Part of me kind of misses, you know, when a release was a release without the opportunity to go back for balancing adjustments. I think the flaws of a game are, a game's flaws, what am I trying to say? It's easier to remember a game around its flaws than around the things that it does well, and the ability to patch out bugs and the like, I think, deprives us of some of that now. Even though it undoubtedly leads to overall better games, that particular experience, I think, doesn't happen as much. Although, you know, I mean, I might be completely wrong because plenty of bugs exist in games now, but, you know what I mean. Loop 2? Oh dear. Ah, there's nowhere to go there. What is Loop 2? I'm curious. Locked in game code Taco, can you give me an example of that? I don't think I understand. Well, no, I mean all that is true. I just mean that the experience. Let's see, how to rephrase this. So the disc version of a game is often horribly buggy, right? But the experience that most people will have, especially if there's like a day one patch applied to it, is going to be cleaner. And especially if they have access to successive software updates, that the overall experience over the game's lifetime has a chance of being a cleaner experience than it would have been if it was a one and done. Not to say that the lower stakes of a buggy disc release, are better or worse. It's just a kind of a different arrangement now. Oh, Loop 2. Gotcha. Loop 2 on this version, I played through about 3/4 of the game through that, and especially with the way the enemies are populated early in the game, it almost feels like that was like the game that was designed, and they just pulled a bunch of stuff out. Let's see, is there anything here? Anything here that will help me? No. Not at all. I remember in particular Evil Within, which I don't remember the exact reason, but for my circumstances at the time, I did not have a reliable internet connection to be able to download the day one patch for it. And what was on the disc was incredibly buggy, like just frame rates dropping, like tanking to like 10. Alright, so let me think this through. If I get this for Sypha, it's the enemy finding subweapon. The doppelganger will likely also have that, and I will have nowhere to hide, so I don't want to do that. Yeah, Mahafun, that's what I mean, like in aggregate. It's not not necessarily something that benefits those. I mean, basically, it's kind of like an extended beta sometimes, right? And that's not always pleasant for early adopters, meaning people who buy it at launch. Oh, okay, gotcha, Taco. And for those who might not know what Taco's referring to, this game. Older game magazines would sometimes have like machine code, machine language code, or other other programming code in there for a game that you would then open up a machine language code, a compiler or whatever, and type it in, save it, then compile it, and there you would have the game. I remember the side-scrolling arcade game Kung Fu. Where you punch guys who come up to you, and you got punch and kick, and it's anyway, that was available to me as code in a magazine, and continued to try to type it in routinely and never quite got it right. But I knew someone who did, and it was amazing because if you were willing to put in the elbow grease, you could get a free game and not have to buy it. It's kind of amazing that they circulated that way. No! All of you, die! No! Oh my god! Birds, man! my god, just get hit! There! Alright, come on, let's go! Get on this damn staircase! Whew. Do not fall down there, do not get that knife, oh my god. Cool. Wait, can you Thunder Orb cheese it? I thought that the doppelganger got your sub-weapon and could basically counter cheese you. Am I remembering that wrong? I remember, I don't know if y'all know, there was a games writer, Sean Baby, who very early in the internet wrote a bunch of sort of like games humor stuff, and I don't know what he has been up to or what has become of him, but Nya! No, get away from me! Ah! But he had a really great write-up about birds in Ninja Gaiden 1, and I think about that every time I am attacked by a bird in a video game. It continues to be true. Birds have an entire army ready to go for you, especially if you are a ninjas or some other landscape trekking adventurer. So, if the orbs are going to cheese it, I'm totally down to cheesing it. Down for cheesing it. Oh, I did not know they had set sub-weapon types. That's really cool. Birds are dinosaurs who refuse to die. They refuse to die, but they promise never to stop resenting. And resentment is absolutely what keeps them flying, not aerodynamics. That's a myth. Oh wow, look at this. I had no idea it was that easy. Well, magnificent. Maybe we'll beat the game in one stream after all. Yeah. Mahafun, yes. I agree with you on that, actually. It is... I don't know if there is another... I would be interested to compare that to other media and how, you know, if I read a book, oh, here's where it starts to chug. There's some slowdown here that I find very charming. Because the music doesn't slow down. So yes, I admire how they prioritize that. The music will not slow down, because if the music slowed down, it would absolutely break the mood, but you can have that thing chug visually, and it still feels great. I like that. I feel like there's something to learn from that. Oh, yes, Taco Task Force. That is ironic. I did not think about that. I'm going to not deal with this nonsense. But yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, I know Henry James, yeah. I think Henry James significantly revised his books later in life, like, just, like, massively, expanded them, which is not the direction that I would recommend he revise. And I'm pretty sure some poets have gone back to do the same. But I don't think that's common practice, and I don't think it is expected practice of a medium in the same way it is in video games. And I think it's the expectation and standardization of the practice that is strange to me. Like, of course you'll release a buggy disc release. Really? I did not know that they blinked out like that. Huh. This music is really good on this version. So yeah, I mentioned this on some other tracks. One of the things that I really like that they use those extra soundtracks for is the bass supports the song really well when it just kind of creates this tension, even if it's not like having a conversation with the main melody. In this case, that sort of like very insistent dun 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 is makes it richer, I think. Actually, Mahafun, I don't think that's water. I think that... So this is my read of this scene. You have gone so high up into Dracula's castle that you are now above the mountains, and that is like a layer of cloud, liquid, mist atmosphere flowing beneath you. So you've actually ascended above the clouds, and it's now just incredibly dry and low oxygen. Is how I've always thought of this. And I think it's cool that there are weirdly even spires taller than this one in the background, which I don't think the other Castlevania games support. I think Dracula's spire is the tallest one. But this general shape here on the side, I am pretty sure you can see that in the very first level in the far distance as you're making your way through. Oh, it has bats on those pendulums. See, I'm really glad that you're mentioning these things, because these are things that muscle memory I remember, but they're not in this version, so I'm like, what's going on? And ever since Symphony of the Night, whenever I come up here, in any of these games, I always look for the very first brick that's right there so I can smash it and hit that switch to go up there. Alas, that is not the way it is to be. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Get 'em, boys. No, 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 I do not want to be up here! Okay, so this is interesting about this sub-weapon and this this boss fight is, like, watch. So, it doesn't really hit him because it thinks of the, well, it doesn't hit him often, I should say. It thinks of the platforms as objects to track. It's kind of like we saw it in Death's level. So it actually makes it very difficult to, well, even to be able to consistently fire them off because they just stay on the screen. Ooh. And the Lord of Darkness. Weaker than birds. Oh my god! Whew! Wow. Oh man. Very close. They did. Thank you. I was worried at several points, but no, we did it. I am interested to see kanji in this. My assumption was that that the 8-bit games had exclusively kana sets, but no, there's apparently some kanji in there too. Thank you, Tara. And thank you, Ark, if I didn't say so. Vampire Hunter. I feel like that's just not the best frame for Alucard. Also, this is where I learned that Alucard's middle name is Fahrenheit. Ralph. Snake! I did notice that, Tara. I was like, Once I get on those platforms, I'm essentially home free. So I'll do the let's see, what time are we at here? I'm at 11:15. Okay, I got a little bit here. So yeah, the first level of Loop 2, as Tara's informing it's called, is the enemy placement in the opening area really does suggest like this is maybe like how it was originally designed, because that space makes a whole lot more sense with enemies there, in particular here. And I kind of wonder if there was like a point where they just sort of like were like, okay, this is maybe a lot to throw at them right at the start, so let's pull back. So I think that's neat. Vampire hunter. Yeah, no, that makes sense for Grant. So yeah, you got zombies here. That makes sense to keep you busy on the ground. Your attention's called to this platform with an unusual enemy that's harder. You have the option to engage it or not. It just all there's just so much about that feels very tutorial-y to me. What does Sypha have? Sypha has no sub-weapon. There are a variety of inspirations for why I really like Baroque aesthetics. This game is a pretty important one. It's very influential for me. Who knew that ghosts were elementally weak to ice? You can freeze a ghost. Whatever mass it has, it contains moisture. Yes, Ark. In the original, in the first playthrough, it's just completely empty. Yeah, throwing random Medusas at you feels maybe a little arbitrary. I tend to agree with that. These bats, I think, are new. Sypha's a beast. Like, just like trade out that cloak for some, you know, basic early armor class leather armor or something, and there, you've got the most powerful vampire hunter in the world. Sorry, Belmonts, with your magically blessed bloodline. This one's got fireballs. Whoa! It doesn't hit its head. Is it its shield? I never thought that its shield might be its hitbox. I never tried hitting it in the head before. Okay, the one thing that I want to do before I call it a night for the stream is I want to go back to the Cyclops again, and I want to try and I want to see if I can kill it with the knife and the lightning one more time. Which Tara, earlier in the stream, I'm sure you're aware of this trick, but earlier in the stream I was able to hit it twice with the lightning, and it's very gratifying. And I would like to end on that note. These are the spike things with like absurd hitboxes. Ah. The only time in the entire game that I will say, give me back my knife, please. Yeah, thinking about how the sort of respawning enemies influence sort of like player activity, player behavior. It's interesting. The Medusas slow you down because you sort of have to whip them. I think whip them or just be very mindful of them. And the bats, which kind of do the same thing, they sort of infinitely spawn left to right. Like, they kind of keep you moving. Like, if you stop to kill every one of them, then you're might be SOL. Hold on, I'd like to catch up with chat. Yeah, conceptually, I admire the notion of having the townspeople lie to you. In practice, like the level design, I think it might have worked if there were like some really obvious cues in the level design that that you could run into and go, oh, this person was obviously lying. What they're saying is not true. It sort of has that problem with a bad puzzle game where you don't know if what you're doing is solving a puzzle, and you don't know if you're failing. And I think that's one of the things that really harmed CV2. A lot of opportunities to explore and invitations to experiment, but no feedback on whether or not you were... I mean, no feedback when you were failing. It's a big problem. Whoa! That complaint, regardless, though, I mean, I was still able to beat it when I was a kid. Partly through magazines, partly through experimentation, partly through word of mouth. So, yeah, for all of the obstacles it created for itself, its audience was willing and able to overcome them. I still remember realizing that you could use graph paper to draw out levels from video games, and drawing maps of Castlevania 2 for my friends. In one instance in particular, I remember trading maps with a friend who, I think he had gotten grounded or something and couldn't play the game. So, I recorded a playthrough of Ninja Gaiden on VHS and gave it to him so he could look at it, you know, while he was grounded. And also drew a Castlevania map for him so he could look at it. So, even if he can't play video games, he can think about them. So, Tara, I'm curious. I am not aware of, like, what the right timing is. Is it when you've got that sort of like, the flickering in the clouds? Or is it, like that? Okay, that seems to be it, then. Ah, so close. Like, I feel like if I throw the knife right when I see the clouds, then it doesn't get over to him fast enough. So I want to kind of just keep throwing a knife to get ahead of it. Ah, so close. Okay, maybe I just need to be closer to him. Ah! Yeah, gotcha. Alright, so maybe that's the way to do it. See if we can do this. Oh no, wrong way. Okay. Ah. Ah, ran out of time and knives and everything. Okay, well, at least I got one. And I also learned how to reliably do it, which is more than I knew at the start of the stream. It does look like a bindle stick, doesn't it? No, it's a mallet. It's like it makes me think of the giant barrels that Donkey Kong throws down at Mario, except with like a broom handle stuck in it. Yeah, as difficult as it is to pull off, it definitely feels like a one-hit kill would reward you for it better, because especially as big and flashy as it is, it's also like the only place in the entire game that that fits in. And I'm wondering, did Iga work on this one? Because that's the sort of like one-off thing that made Symphony of the Night just wonderful, right? Like a whole bunch of design ideas and like what-if weapons that they threw into this game that completely break it over the knee, and that's one of the things that's really wonderful about that game, and that's the kind of like one-off idea that that I associate with the latter Castlevania games that they're most inspired. But that puts me at 11:30. I think it's time for me to turn into a pumpkin and go to bed. So thank you everybody for coming out. Tara, it's wonderful to meet you. And also, sorry, one second here. And Amethyst, it's wonderful for you to have come out and to catch me live instead of on the VOD. I hope to catch you again soon. And as usual, Mexican Sting, Mahafun, Ark, and Taco, and Swimmy, and Dan, and Dustin? I think Dustin's here. Anyway, everybody, I'm really always happy to see you. It's a highlight of my week. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you next week. Yep. And I actually don't know what I'm going to stream next week. That's something to think about. Probably not going to do Fatal Frame again right off. Still kind of bored with it. So anyway, have a good night.